Welcome to Social Work Updates. In this video we are going to talk about difference between macro, mezzo and micro social work. So let's start with macro versus micro social work. Unlike micro social work, macro social work does not focus on assessing and addressing an individual's problems through one-on-one or small group assessments and treatment. Instead, macro social support clients in a more holistic fashion by serving as an advocate for them. Their work includes influencing public policy, conducting research, working with government agencies, organizing activists, drafting petitions, or supporting legislation. However, according to Reich of the University of Maryland pointed out, this doesn't mean that macro-level social work does not have direct outcomes. One of the fallacies is that macro social work is indirect while micro practice is sometimes referred to as direct practice. Reich said, "It's incorrect because in both areas, you are working with people, just in different contexts for different ends. The need for macro social workers exceeds that of micro social workers." Reich said that in the last 50 years, more social workers have gravitated toward mezzo and micro work partly due to the distance from the war on poverty of the 1960s. Also, women, who once had barriers to law and business professions, became social workers as a way to fulfill a desire to influence policy. They now have more career choices. However, he said, the trend may be shifting. In the last couple of years, he's noticed an uptick in students pursuing macro areas of study. Increasingly, with what's happening with politics, more and more critical decisions are going to be made at the local level, he said. There is a role there for social workers to work at the community level and to advocate for more socially just policies. Let's proceed to macro versus mezzo social work. Mezzo social work programs differ from macro and micro programs in that they do not specifically focus on individual or widespread community needs. Since some of the work on the mezzo level will be on an individual level and some will be with larger groups, the skill set required for professionals in this field may be more diverse than those in micro or macro positions. For instance, the skills to speak to large groups differs from the skills necessary to communicate effectively with people who have experienced trauma. And lastly, micro versus mezzo social work. While social workers at both the mezzo and micro levels work with individuals, mezzo social workers typically find their clients within the fabric of a larger organization, such as a school or community center. Meanwhile, micro social workers typically conduct individual and family counseling, help individuals navigate resources such as Medicare or Medicaid, and intervene in situations in which clients encounter a crisis or distress, example, domestic abuse, substance abuse, and post-traumatic stress disorder. Many social workers engage in micro and mezzo practice simultaneously. Even the most ambitious mezzo-level interventions stem from conversations between a single social worker and a single client. While certain social workers specialize in one aspect of the micro to macro scale, most social workers interact with all three levels. Because of this phenomenon, social workers must understand the entire spectrum and how the different scales interact. And that's it. Thanks for watching. For more social work updates, please visit my YouTube page, hit the bell and subscribe.